I am the famous American. Let's talk about the election here in the United States. Joe Biden won versus Donald Trump. Let's imagine what that's going to mean. Now, granted, I am here in the United States. Many of my viewers are not. Many of my viewers are actually in the Middle East and in Europe. So I'm interested in knowing what your perception of this is going to be and how maybe this will affect the United States and the rest of the world now that in 2021 Joe Biden will be president. Personally speaking, I've said this nearly a year ago in regards to COVID. I'm not one of those people who takes COVID very seriously. I only wear a mask in public when I'm required to, and I always do without any kind of issue. But I'm at the gym 6 days a week. No one wears a mask there. I'm not one who takes it seriously. And I'm open about that. It's not to say that people haven't died from it and people haven't got sick and it's a very bad thing. But personally speaking, I'm one of those people who I refuse to live in fear. I would rather die than have to hide in my own house like a bunker. So what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking positively here, a possible good thing about Joe Biden being president is that he will carry on the mentality that COVID is something we need to take very seriously. Even if I don't, I have a feeling that that is going to continue the culture, what I call COVID culture. So selfishly, I've been able to work from home most of this year. I'm in recruiting, which is like sales, and I've never had higher numbers than I do right now. I'm so much more efficient at my job, not having to drive every day to work and risk my life in traffic, because I do live in a big city. And instead, I use that time to go to the gym, like I already mentioned, and actually become healthier and more fit. So it's been a great year for me personally, and again, selfishly, but I'm just thinking, looking on next year in 2021, Biden seems to take COVID very seriously. And as long as he takes it seriously and the states take it seriously, what's going to happen is, I'm predicting, that we will, therefore, those of us who work full-time for a living will be continuing to work from home. I like it because it feels like I'm semi-retired to some degree. I mean, my quality of life really has improved. I've been able to spend more time with my family, focus more on myself, taking care of myself, and again, not putting my own life in danger by driving to work every day, being in the car for an hour and a half every day. When you look at the numbers as far as how people actually die every year and what you're most likely to die from, for me, statistically speaking, I'm more likely to die in a car accident as compared to COVID. So I'm aware of that. So I feel, okay, well, if Joe Biden wants to keep us working from home longer by continuing to brand that idea that COVID is something we need to take very seriously and we need to continue social distancing and not drive to work and just work from our homes for those of us who can, I don't see how that's a bad thing. I mean, it's funny because I'm not a political person. In case I haven't already said it, I did vote for Trump in this election. I didn't vote for him the year before. I voted Libertarian for Gary Johnson, but this time I did vote for Trump because he seems to do more for prison reform. And as far as voting on a president, I'm going to vote for things that actually can change things for the better. And most of the things that people vote about don't seem to be anything we change. But as far as changing the climate and saving the world, I don't know about that. I'm still waiting for someone to clearly explain what the Green Deal is in 100 words or less. No one's been able to do it. As far as what I personally can do to save the world from burning up and whatever's going to happen in the world. But as far as prison reform, we can actually do something about that. We can get these men and women out of prison that don't belong there. We can do DNA tests, etc. We can do something about that. And when you look at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you look at specifically Ms. Harris, what she's done. She's actually kept innocent people in prison. Look it up. It says this is not a conspiracy theory. This is a real thing. She kept innocent people in prison. She has a record for that. Whereas Trump actually got someone out of prison for something. So that's why I voted the way I did. But you know what? None of that matters because Joe Biden won. And I'm thinking, again, not a political person. I'm a libertarian, so I'm going to vote whoever I feel like voting for. Sometimes the libertarian candidate. Sometimes in this recent occurrence, I voted for Trump again. But next time I may vote Democrat. I have that ability because I'm not so caught up in the polarization of how this works. So for me, I can vote for Trump in this past election. He didn't win. I'm not emotionally affected by it at all. And instead I think, okay, well, I'm focusing on what I can control. I voted. And next, okay, Biden, what's he got to offer? Well, maybe it means I get to continue to work from home and continue my better version of life. And I guess it's just like, that's how things happen. Sometimes things may be bad for most people in the world, but then there are some people who actually are better off. And the thing is, as I've talked to people in real life, not on the internet, but in real life, most people agree with me that their quality of life has improved since the lockdown, since all this happened. And we're able to appreciate life from a new perspective. And just like those movies where the character, whether they're in a dream or whatever, and they're able to look over their own life and think, man, I wish I could have done this different and I could have appreciated this better. And then they wake up or whatever from that dream, and then they get to start living the life the way that they should have always, whether it's the movie Family Man or whether it's the movie About Time or whether it's any of those Christmas Carol movies or stories. It's that same concept. I feel like this is my version of that. I'm being able to really live in the moment and appreciate what all is there in front of me that I haven't been able to because I'm too busy running around driving my car. I mean, it was never a problem for me. I never really thought, I hate driving to work every day. But I realize how inefficient it is to drive into an office and do that. I can get more done from my own house, spend time more with my own family, feel more alive. Again, that's in contrast to people who have unfortunately lost their lives through COVID. That's very unfortunate. And I'm so sad to hear that has happened. But I know that my family was already exposed to COVID and my parents already had it earlier in the summer. And I was with them during all of that. So once you realize, okay, I survived COVID and now I'm working from home and everything about my life seems to be better. Okay, Joe Biden, you're president now. Let's keep believing that COVID's a real bad thing so that we can keep working from home. That's where I'm at. So hopefully, in conclusion, you can see, yes, I voted for Trump in this election. Am I emotionally affected by it? No. What's the first thing I do? I'm like, okay, well, the candidate who did win, let's see what he can offer us. I'm not a political person. I'm looking for the benefits of it. And that's the benefit for me. What's the benefit for you? What's the benefit for the United States? What's the benefit for the rest of the world now that Joe Biden will be president? Your opinions, your views and thoughts matter. And they matter right here where I can read them and maybe I'll do a video response to you.